It was a great day of racing for one Aussie pairing though.
Came back with a win for that one. It was good after Mitch won the previous two regattas, so to come back and finish the day off with a win was just fantastic way to finish the day off for us. So we finished with a 1, 2 and a 2 and a 1, so not a bad day.
At the end of day 3 and after 5 races, Australians Darren Bundock and Glenn Ashby lead the series. Things are looking bright for British team Yates and Angel following their near write-off yesterday. Having put all hours into the repair overnight, the team feel they're back in the game.
We've been working hard through the night. We didn't get to bed till about 1 o'clock yesterday. Pretty full on getting the boat sorted, ready for today's racing. We were desperately trying to get hold of a spare hull yesterday because we really didn't want to have to repair this one. But we've managed to sort of beg, borrow, steal enough bits and pieces to sort of put it together so it will work for today's racing. We did apply for redress, which would have given us average points for the races we missed yesterday. The way we saw it was they shouldn't have hit us because they had enough room to avoid a collision. Unfortunately the committee didn't see it that way, and because of the conditions I think they allowed the other guys a bit of leeway, which meant that they could get away with sailing into us and not getting disqualified.
We have got 2 discards with 10 races, which will take out 2 of our did not starts, which only leaves us with a disqualified and then a 34th and a 21st. So there's still a possibility we could be sort of halfway up the fleet, but we'll see how it goes over the next couple of days.
Weather conditions were perfect for sailing today, with a southeasterly blowing at 16 to 18 knots with glorious sunshine. Race officials plan to take advantage of the great conditions, running 4 races, taking the total up to 9. Day 4 of the Seawind F18worlds, as in the Netherlands, Mitch Booth and Pim Neuenhuis draw level with Darren Bundock and Glenn Ashby. Booth and Neuenhuis took 3 firsts and a 4th, putting them ahead of the Aussies on the overall leaderboard. It was 3 second places and a 3rd for Bundock and Ashby.
Yeah, look, I think at the moment there's 1 point between Darren and myself, and also Mitch and Pim. And yeah, look, it's really only being about halfway through the series. There's a long way to go, and we've got a little bit of a points gap now on 3rd and positions after that. But I think, you know, if the conditions stay fairly similar to this, I think Mitch is going to be very hard to beat. Pim is crewing very well, Mitch is steering very well, and you know, they're going to be a hard combination to beat. They're a few kilos heavier than us, which is helping in the waves and the wind a little bit, and they're also sailing very, very well. So Darren and I will have our work cut out for us for sure.
French duo Besson and Arnaud are sitting comfortably in 3rd overall, having taken a 1st, 2nd, 4th and 5th.
Not easy, because you have the best of the world here. And it's not easy.
The Greenhout brothers from the UK are keeping in the top 10 after a good couple of days racing.
So we're new to the Formula 18 class. The first time we sailed it was 5 days before this event started, so we did 5 days training and then into this, and the conditions have been sort of fairly breezy and pretty rough, and so it's been quite a baptism of fire. I think we're getting to grips with it. certainly been really good fun and really challenging, and we're learning lots, so I think we'll probably continue to be a part of the class.
British team Yates and Angel have had another trying day, encountering more problems, but they're working hard at trying to resolve them.
Here's our dagger board. It was in one piece before today's racing. By the time we got to second lap of the second race, we're going up the beat and snapped in half. It's actually a carbon fibre reinforced dagger board, and I've never ever known one to snap on a Hobie Tiger before, so basically because we were sailing that fast, it's actually completely seared in two.
There's 2 more days of action-packed sailing before the F18 World Champion will be declared here in Yeppoon. After a light rain shower this morning, the sun welcomed the competitors as they made their way down to the beach. It's perfect conditions for sailing, with a breeze blowing at 14 to 17 knots, building to the early 20s later in the day. Mitch Booth and crew Pim Neuenhuis won 3 races yesterday and have equal overall points with Darren Bundock and Glenn Ashby, with another 6 races still to be sailed. It could be make or break day for the 2 teams.
I think we're exactly even in points now, and with 6 more races to go, it's just going to be really tight. I think both teams enjoy these conditions, and it's just too hard to tell. I think if the breeze drops a bit, it's going to be more exciting racing. More boats coming into the play. We saw that yesterday with Billy Besson going a bit better when the breeze dropped a bit. But if conditions like this, we just love to sail in that, and we're pretty good at it.
Race officials went for just 3 races today, 2 in the morning and another after lunch. Bundock and Booth pulled off their usual top spot results, with a new contender up there in the shape of Britain's Hugh Styles and Tom Peel, who had their best set of results to date, taking a 2nd, 4th and 5th.
Teamwork came together a lot better today, and Tom was on fire at the front of the boat, and I was trying to keep up, so it was all pretty good. We had some good training time with our teammates Misha Hemskirk and Chris Ashley, and we made really good use of the time out here beforehand. Unfortunately, the conditions were pretty similar, so that worked out really well, but we're on quite a steep learning curve at the moment, and each race goes by and we're like, that's how that works, and this is how we need to sail it for the next race, so especially on the downwind, which seems to be quite tricky.
Yeah, still learning, definitely.
At the end of day 5, Styles and Peel are sitting in 5th place overall on the leaderboard. Another team sitting comfortably in the top 10 are fellow Nacro team sailors Mishka Heemskerk and Christopher Ashley of the Netherlands, who after taking a 3rd, 4th and 6th are in 4th overall, 1 place above Styles and Peel.
We lacked on taking one decision when the first opened in the first race, and that brought us just out of the breeze line, and the boys were on the left inside, got lifted on top of us, so we had to climb back from 9th to 6th. We're happy that we could climb back again.
Caroline Brouwer of Belgium wasn't put off by her unlucky 13th place finish today, and remains in 8th place overall with crew Van Leeuwen.
Yeah, we had a really good start in that 2nd race, but just couldn't keep the pace of the other boats, so we slowly lost out during the race and finished 12th, I think. And that's our only result outside of the top 10. Other than that, we're pretty consistent.
Coming to match races, Booth and Bundock, it would appear that Bundock is back on top of the overall leaderboard, just 1 point ahead of Mitch Booth and crew. However, a protest hearing is being held this evening regarding the possibility of Bundock crossing the line early. One thing's for sure, tomorrow's racing will reveal the F18 World Champion of 2007. It's tight at the top as the final day of racing commences at the Seawind F18 World Championships, being sailed here in the waters off Ridge's Capricorn Resort, Yeppoon, Queensland. It's a beautiful day to end on with a breeze of around 16 knots. The winner of the F18 World Championships 2007 will be decided over the next 3 races.
I think 3 races that still potentially someone else could get up there, but I think we'd really have to blow all 3 races for that to happen. So I think it's really a 2-boat show today.
Yesterday really was the sort of pièce de résistance so far. So if we can build on that for today, then even better. You know, we're aiming to try and go one better and if we can get a race win today, and then that'll just try and eke us up the ladder a bit more.
Going into the final day, there is just 1 point between the triple world champion, Mitch Booth, and the double world champion, Darren Bundock. The pressure was on for Bundock after the first race particularly, as they came away with a lower score at this regatta, a 5th. Frenchman Billy Besson took the top spot, Mitch Booth second. Mitch upped his game in race 2, taking a first ahead of Bundock. The most nail-biting race was the final one of the regatta, in which Bundock planned to make Booth sail his drop, effectively forcing him to use a race he'd rather discount. Bundock had started on the committee boat end, trying to drag Booth with him when the officials signalled a general recall. At the restart, Booth ran down the line towards the pin, but Bundock caught him, and at the start forced him low and starboard. Booth was pinned. Bundock was sailing Booth off the course and towards the rear of the fleet. Mitch Booth ended up with his poorest score of the regatta, in 18th place. Bundock and Ashby headed back to the beach as they needn't finish. Using their discards, Australians Darren Bundock and Glenn Ashby have taken the championships by 1 point from Booth and Neuenhaus.
Basically, we just started right near him and basically, forced ourselves out to the one side of the course, which wasn't the right side of the course, and let up a few other boats get in between us. Basically, we just made sure that we sort of kept inside him at all times, and just let the other guys disappear and have their own race. So we could discard that race. Mitch could obviously discard it as well, but his next best discard wasn't quite as good as ours. So we just made sure that we kept on top of him and didn't let him get away.
I guess our first impressions was we were didn't realise if we'd actually won the event because it was so close between us and Mitch. We had a lot of racing out there today and it was so close, and Mitch put in such a big challenge that even still when we actually got back to the beach we weren't 100% sure that we'd done the calculations right. But now everything's been confirmed and we're just ecstatic that we've won our 3rd Formula 18 World Championship. So Mitch has really dominated the F18 class since its beginning. He's already won 3 World Championships before as well, and he's always been there as one of the key players in all the racing for sure.
We did a penalty turn in the first race today, which cost us potentially that win. We were comfortably in the lead and we touched the mark, and of course when you touch a mark you have to do a turn, which we did. Put us back to 3rd and we fought back into 2nd. But anyhow, it's been a great week's racing. It's a pity we didn't come away with a win, but we mixed it up right until the last race, so we're pretty happy.
Frenchman Billy Besson, one of the most consistent sailors of the regatta, took 3rd overall. Britain's Hugh Styles did just what he'd hoped to do in winning his first race of the event, leaving him in 4th place overall, ahead of fellow Nacro sailor Mishka Heemskerk of the Netherlands.
I think all the guys and girls here have had a big week of sailing, and I think everyone's hands and shoulders are going to be pretty sore for the next few days, but we've had a great time and it's been a lot of fun.
Mark LaRufa, the event coordinator, breathed a huge sigh of relief at the end of racing, having successfully pulled off Australia's first F18 World Championships.
Oh, I think it has been pretty successful. I mean, you always want things to work out a bit better, but when you're in the hands of God with the sailing and winds and everything else, I mean, I don't think we can ask for anything better. We'd like to say thank you to Seawind, of course, for being naming rights, but it's also another big sponsor, which was Events Queensland, the Regional Development Program. They saw our vision of what we're trying to create, which was great, and they come on board with being a large chunk of our money to run this operation. And I'd imagine we've got to do a report in. I imagine they're going to be pretty happy because we've got a lot of international exposure for the region. I mean, Yeppoon's a little town. It's a bit forgotten, I suppose, to the rest of Australia and probably the world. It's a beautiful part of the coastline up here. And I think they got the coverage for what they expected. It's been pretty exciting travelling downhill at the speeds we've been doing. with the seas we've been doing, the seas we've been handling with, and the social activities, I think, is a highlight. And I think people will go away pretty happy. I'm glad it's over.